Welcome back to the Gentle Machine. This is where we pause just for a moment. We let modern technology slow down. We let it speak quietly in its own time. Every thought here arrives gently and leaves the same way. So if you're ready, we can begin. When you press send, something small happens. A very small thing, almost imperceptible. A finger moves, perhaps just a thumb, hovering for a moment in the space just above the screen. It touches a surface of cool, smooth glass, a window into a world that is not physically present. There is no resistance, no true effort, just a gentle tap, a quiet instruction given without a voice, an act of release, a letting go. A key is pressed, not a physical key that clicks and moves, but an idea of a key. A picture of a word, send, glowing softly. A symbol of departure. A moment passes. A breath is held, then released. And then, without ceremony, the message leaves you. It slips away from your device. A silent exhalation of data. It does not hesitate. It does not look back or reconsider. Its existence is now pure forward momentum. It has no memory of your fingers, no sense of your intention. We often imagine messages as objects, travelling intact from one place to another, like a letter in an envelope or a package sent by post. We picture it as a single thing, moving through the world as we do. But that is not how they move. That is not how this works. A message does not go anywhere whole. It becomes many small pieces. Think of a sentence broken into single words, or a photograph cut into 1,000 tiny squares. This is what happens to your message. It is disassembled gently. It becomes tiny parts, each light enough to travel easily, each carrying just enough information to be useful. Each piece is given a quiet instruction, a destination, and a small note on where it fits in the final picture. These pieces begin their journey independently, moving through networks that are already awake, already waiting. These networks are like rivers, flowing invisibly through the air and under the ground. They are always in motion. They are not waiting for your message. They are simply available. These rivers are not abstract. They have a body. They are threads of glass thinner than a human hair, buried under city streets, resting in the cold darkness of the ocean floor. They are waves of light, travelling from towers that stand like silent, patient giants. They are buildings, vast and windowless, filled with the hum of machines that do nothing but remember and direct. This is the landscape your message travels through. A world built to house the movement of things that have no physical form. Nothing announces their arrival into this flow. Nothing rushes to meet them. They are simply received, these tiny pieces, and passed along. They are absorbed into the current. A shared flow, already in motion, waiting for nothing in particular. This is the space where messages begin to let go of us, where intention becomes movement, where something written becomes something sent. One of the simplest places to notice this motion is an email. Think of the words you write. When you send an email, the words do not travel together. They are broken apart, packaged carefully, and released. Each piece, each packet finds its own way forward. Imagine one piece, holding just a few words, taking a path through a wire under the ocean. A journey through silent, crushing darkness. Another piece might travel through the air as a signal to a tower, a brief, invisible shimmer in the atmosphere. Some take direct paths, the shortest possible route. Some take longer routes, diverted by a flicker of digital congestion. Some pause briefly at a junction, a router in a city you've never heard of, waiting for a space to open up, then continue. The system is not concerned with the order they travel in or the scenery they pass. It is a system of pure logistics. Its only concern is availability. Only that they travel. They do not need to arrive at the same time. They only need to arrive eventually. At the other end, at the destination, a device waits. It is not an anxious wait, it is a patient gathering. As each piece arrives, it is held, a word from the middle of a sentence might arrive first. The last word might arrive before the first. It does not matter. The device simply collects them, checking their small notes to see where each one belongs. When all the pieces have been gathered, they are reassembled quietly. Not as something new, but as something familiar. The message appears whole again, on a different screen, miles or continents away, as if it had never been apart. But the words are in the right order. The sentences make sense. It is complete. The system that achieved this knows nothing of the meaning it has restored. It does not know it was carrying thoughts or feelings or intention. It does not know if the words are urgent or mundane, a declaration of love, or a reminder to buy milk. It only knows how to move pieces from one place to another, and it only knows how to put them back in order when they arrive. It is a perfect, indifferent courier. The same calm motion applies to smaller messages. A text message, for example. Short, lightweight, unassuming. Just a few words, a handful of characters. When it is broken apart, it becomes only a very few pieces. Sometimes just one. It travels quickly, not because it is important, but because it is very small. It fits easily into the gaps in the network's flow. It does not need a large space to be carried. The system does not hurry it along. It does not prioritize it emotionally. It simply moves it forward, at a pace the network allows. If the river is flowing smoothly, the message arrives in a moment. If it arrives quickly, that is not urgency, that is availability. The path was clear, and so the message moved without delay. Other messages move differently. Consider a simple voice note. Your voice is not a thing that can be held. It is a vibration in the air, a pattern of sound that changes from moment to moment. Unlike an email or a text, a voice note unfolds over time. It is not delivered all at once. It flows. Sound becomes numbers. The warmth and tone of your voice, its rhythm, its pauses, all of this is translated into a long, orderly stream of information. Numbers become packets. This stream is chopped into tiny segments, each one lasting only a fraction of a second. These packets move in sequence, just ahead of the moment they are needed. The system also carries the spaces between your words. The pauses. The moments of hesitation where you searched for a thought. These too are translated into numbers. Silence becomes data. It is packaged and sent with the same calm efficiency as the sounds are, because the silence is part of the pattern. It is part of the meaning. The system does not distinguish between sound and its absence. It only sees a sequence to be maintained. As the listener begins to hear the first words, other words are still on their journey. The end of your sentence has not yet arrived. The system works to keep the flow steady, delivering each piece just before it is time for it to be heard. It is a continuous act of arrival. The system listens for gaps, not meaning. If a piece is delayed, another path opens. If timing drifts, it is corrected gently. The listener hears only continuity. The voice arrives as a whole, even though it never travelled as one. Images, meanwhile, move in a different way. A photo shared between two phones does not appear instantly. It is meant to build itself. The data of an image is heavy. It contains so much information. Light, shadow, millions of colours. It is disassembled into thousands of small pieces. At the other end, the screen prepares first a suggestion of colour, perhaps blurry and indistinct. This is the first wave of pieces arriving, giving a general idea of the image. Then shapes begin to form as more pieces arrive and are put into place. Then detail. A line becomes sharp. A texture becomes clear. The image arrives piece by piece, assembling quietly until there is nothing left to add. The system does not know it is revealing a memory or the face of a loved one. It only knows that more pieces are still on their way, and that its task is to place them where they belong. Some messages are never finished. They are not meant to be complete. A live location update, for instance. This is not a single message, but a steady stream of small ones. A constant, gentle whisper. Each update replaces the last. The old location is not erased, it is simply let go. Its purpose is over. Each new piece of information slightly adjusts what came before. The message is always in motion because the subject is. The dot on the map moves, not because it is one thing travelling, but because it is a series of arrivals, each one creating a new present moment. Movement reflected by movement. Even during a video call, messages are constantly travelling. This is perhaps the most complex motion of all. Two streams for each person, a stream of sound and a stream of image. They are sent out together, but they do not travel together. Sound and image move separately. The stream for sound is lighter, simpler, It moves more quickly. The stream for the image is heavy, full of colour and light and change. It takes more time, more space in the network, so they arrive slightly out of step, and the sound might arrive a fraction of a second before the image that matches it. Small delays are corrected without notice. The device on the other side holds the sound for a tiny moment, a fraction of a second, waiting for the picture to catch up. This is a small, constant act of patience. It is a buffer, a space for time to correct itself, so that the words you hear seem to come from the lips you see. The system does not aim for perfection. It knows perfection is impossible when dealing with so many variables. Instead, it aims for alignment. It works to keep these separate streams flowing in a harmony that feels real, that feels present. As long as the flow continues and the alignment holds, the conversation feels whole. Messages are always in motion, or rather, they are always ready for motion. They are possibility, waiting for a path. They move not because they are pushed by an urgent force, but because there is somewhere for them to go. A path is open. A destination is ready to receive. The system exists only to connect the two, to be the space in between. And that's where we'll leave it for today. Messages will continue to move quietly from place to place without asking to be noticed. Signals will continue to travel. Systems will continue to respond. Information will find its way. Thank you for spending this time with me, for listening to me slow things down, and without needing anything in return. The gentle machine will be back soon. Until then, you can rest.